Today, I feel to express about this past week or so that's really come up in my field, and that's the topic of judgment. And it's really interesting because obviously on this path of self-discovery, self-mastery, whatever you want to call it, when something comes into your awareness, it's often because it needs to be looked at within you, or I guess somewhat of a acceptance lesson, and also kind of like a be aware of this. Because if you're, often if you're noticing something, then it's something that could be occurring in you that you may not be aware of. And so it's really sort of brought into my awareness lately about, how I've been delivering my expression in the past, and without being intentional, I believe that there was form of judgment behind it, and not it's just this beautiful realization and reminder that there is no judgment here. There's no need for judgment, no matter what or where somebody's at, because ultimately everybody is us. And so when we're noticing something we don't like, or we don't agree with, or triggers us, then that's obviously something within us. And I basically, over the past week or so, really got to notice that, people who are just the way that they're delivering in my field, like social media, and the way people are speaking to each other, and really with even adults and kids and dogs for some reason, which was really interesting. But it's all sort of coming into my field about, it's no, do it my way, or do it the way I want, or you should be doing it this way. And it's really amazing how it's really opened up in the form of this judgment realization, I suppose, and how not to be. And how anyone can be however they are, that's fine. It's all love and acceptance. However, noticing that what you are being aware of, and when I say you, I mean me always, what you are being aware of is for a reason. I'm noticing that this form of sort of it's like manipulation, really. I don't know, it's so weird. Even a dog on a leash, and I'm just seeing people fully reef their dogs. There was a dog going to the number twos, and this person wasn't paying any attention. It's just dragging their dog down the street. And I'm just like wow, and it's just, it was just this beautiful message that, this is what's occurring. This is what's occurring when you're not paying attention. This is what's occurring when you're not aware. This is what's occurring when you believe that what you want to do, or where you want to go, or how you want to do it, or how fast or how slow. When you hold yourself above anything else in that regard, then, it's not very nice. It wasn't very nice. the feeling that I got. And it's never against the person, because the person isn't aware. And so, me yelling at the person does what? Nothing. And it's very interesting because, like, with this whole awakening thing, like, one of the first steps you go through is like, I've got to tell the world, I've got to share with the world what's really going on. And often this is by going, this is going on, when that doesn't help anything. But it's just this beautiful journey because everyone goes through it. And that's why, the judgment thing is just so beautiful, because it's like you're judgmental to the point where you see you're judgmental to the point where you see that there's just no judgment there. There's no longer judgment, even for the people who are being judgmental. And that has been this week, because, I can see how in the past I was judgmental. I was being very judgmental. And I believe that everybody goes through it. And if they don't think that they have, well, then they might still be in that place. I don't know. But I think it's like a rung on the ladder. Because I believe that like, if I'm here to experience it all, well, that's an experience. All of it's an experience. It's like when I got told about my insanity. It was like, insanity is still an experience. That's what you're going through to have known what it is and to have experienced it. So that was kind of cool. So it was a big rant. But the teaching this morning that came through was quite amusing. So I'll share it. Like, it was, it was long, but quite often the ones I've shared in the past were, and this is like soul teaching, this is from within, ones in the past have been like really lovey and really, really encouraging and stuff. And this was too, but in such a different way, which was actually quite amusing because, and I quote, this was in the teaching, was, "Be sure not to be a pompous, self-righteous turd." Which I found my soul saying that rather amusing. But it's true. It's so true. Because true mastery will not be elating yourself over others. And, obtaining wisdom and basically the keys to the universe and reality in the way of, you're getting to a point where you're getting to understand the laws of reality and how and what you can do to manipulate it. And it's really funny because I have this beautiful friend who is like, oh yeah, well I can make it stop raining, I can do, and that is amazing. And I have gone, oh yes, I love that the rain stops when I need to go out, and it works. But it really showed me, I was like, wow, I'm really wanting to make sure I'm stepping into receiving, not controlling. And so it's more like, for me, I felt like more being guided to what is and being accepting and loving of all that is, rather than I want it this way and so I'm going to do this to get it. So, the course I'm doing at the moment was, he said about there's egoic will and there's divine will. And I guess egoic will is choosing what you want to happen, which is, you can still do that, absolutely, which is what I think's occurred mostly in the world, because the people have figured out and then gone that way. And then the divine will is just allowing yourself to be lived in so many ways, and just allowing this beauty to unfold and allowing the universe to present you with all of the wonderful, glorious things that it's capable of. And, that's the highs and the lows, because that's how you learn. And the teachings seem to get easier, but, I don't want to say that, because then it's normally, like I've said this before, when you're on the spiral and you're on the upward turn and like you're feeling pretty good, then there's only one way to go, back down and around again. But it's this beautiful realization, because the more you allow, accept, and love every single turn, every spiral, the less torturous it is. So, yeah, today was just like this really beautiful share that I was wanting to be expressed through me about judgment and self-discipline, and how self-discipline is paramount, especially for somebody who is feeling the calling of being some sort of a guide, or someone to share, which is obviously one of my gifts. So yeah, for anybody who receives this, obviously it was meant for you. See ya.